Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. Sorry for the lateness of this video to Julio. I do apologize for that. I'm trying to get these out as soon as I possibly can. I know that's a lame excuse, but I do apologize for that. For those interested, requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, ranking, review, re-review, commentary, video game playthrough for an hour, or full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this time, Julio wanted me to do a commentary on the 1978 film Convoy. So I'm like, okay. I have seen this once. I remember thinking it was okay. Not as good as Smokey and the Bandit. I mean, better than Smokey and the Bandit 3. It's one of those films that it was okay, but I thought could have been much better, and that's probably because, number one, there's a lot of issues during the making of the film, in particular because of the director, Sam Peckinpah, and his additions. Number two, this was a much longer film. The original cut, I believe, was 3.5 hours long. So you take the cut, a movie that was 3.5 hours long, and they cut it down to an hour and 40 some minutes. You tell it feels like there's a lot of stuff missing. Now, I don't know if that means we need a 3.5 hour long movie about Convoy, but still, you have some good actors in this that don't seem they have much to do, and maybe because a lot of it was on the cutting room block, but anyway, we'll get to it. Pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Push and play about now. That's funny. The first thing I see is United Artists, and of course, they be up the creek without a paddle because of Heaven's Gate, that movie by Michael Cimino. Pretty much killed United Artists, so. I mean, this film did do well at the box office, but the problem was it cost so damn much to make. Because it's supposed to have one budget, but what happened was it went over schedule, and the budget like doubled or more so. So I think while it made money at the box office, because of the budget, technically broke, I think, even. I think it did break even. So because of that, and because of his behavior, Sam Peckinpah did not direct for at least 5 years after this. Now, this did become the highest grossing Sam Peckinpah. And Sam Peckinpah, I mean, he did The Wild Bunch, and he was very much known for his directing style and his violence. But his films were not doing well. He did that film, Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. That didn't do well. He did, I think, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. That didn't do well. So he was in need of a hit. He needed a box office hit. Now, the title of this movie, and the song that is in the movie, you're hearing it right now, is C.W. McCall, right there, based on the song, C.W. McCall, Convoy, which was a huge hit. We got a trucking convoy across the USA, Convoy. That, of course, is a different version for the movie to make it longer. But if you watch the trailer is pretty much a music video with that song. It plays the whole song out for like 3 minutes, which is a cool trailer. I mean, the trailer made me want to watch the film. Granted, the trailer gave away all the best moments in the film, because this film doesn't really have a whole lot in terms of the characters. It's more about the stunt work. It's more about the journey, so to speak. But yeah, Sam Peckinpah, he had alcoholism. I think he was doing cocaine as well, and just a lot of drugs, which really affected his making of this film. I kept thinking it was Chris Christopherson that would have to go and direct, but I think it was actually James Coburn, who was a friend of Sam Peckinpah's and was like a assistant director, but when the guy was too fucked up, James Coburn had to go in and direct stuff. And so yeah, this went over budget and went over schedule. It cost, I did double than it was supposed to. And this is a time when these type of trucker CB radio movies were the fad, so to speak. They were the hip thing. Because the success of songs like Convoy, but also you had Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit had come out, I think, the year before, 1977, because this was 78. Smokey and the Bandit was huge. Smokey and the Bandit was a huge success. And then you had a lot of films try to copy it. But none of them got as successful as Smokey. Even the sequels. Like, I don't mind Smokey and the Bandit 2, but it has its flaws. And, you know, like, really? It's about an elephant? What? They got to transport an elephant? They went from transporting beer to an elephant? And then, I don't know what the fuck they were doing with Smokey and the Bandit 3. Well, from what I understand, they did one film, and then it was so stupid because Smokey and the Bandit were played by the same goddamn guy, Mr. Buford T. Justice himself. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I heard, and then they had to reshoot the stuff, and it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, Smokey and the Bandit was a huge hit, and then you had other films come out. Breaker Breaker, one of the early Chuck Norris films, yes. Chuck Norris was in a trucker movie. And I liked that film. I mean, I don't think Chuck himself likes the film. It's not really looked at in a positive manner by a lot of people, but I don't mind it. It's not my favorite Chuck Norris. It's not in my top 10, but I liked it for what it was. It was different. I mean, it was early in his career, but it was different for him. And still got to do a little bit of martial arts. Now we're seeing some of the other truckers. We got Chris Christopherson. Always a big fan of his. Loved him as Whistler and Blade 2. He was good in Payback with Mel Gibson. ICU, also known as Detox, with Sylvester Stallone. Even in Fire Down Below, where he played the villain, that Steven Seagal film. I always liked to see him in it. I always thought he was a great actor. So it was cool to see him star in the movie. This guy here, I think his name is Franklin AJ? Yeah, Franklin AJ. The guy who was just talking. There's Burt Young from Rocky. But yeah, this guy, Franklin AJ, I knew he looked familiar. He had a bit part in Stir Crazy, the Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder film. He's a guy who has he's in the hospital of the prison. And he's talking about this doctor. I tried to have some in my leg, and this guy took my nuts away. What? Don't get that, doctor. And so Richard Pryor looks over, and he sees a doctor, and then the guy goes, "That's the guy that did me." And Richard Pryor freaks out and runs away. So that guy in the hospital is that guy there. And of course, Burt Young, I mean, he was in Rocky, those films. He was in Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield. Was a lot of stuff throughout the years. A lot of stuff. Burt Young. And of course, the Smokey, the cop we got is Ernest Borgnine, which I remember from the TV show Airwolf. But he did a lot of stuff and always seemed like a jolly guy. So it's interesting here. He's kind of playing a bit of a villain in this, in a way. I mean, he is the bit of the villain of the movie. And his character's name is Sheriff Lyle Cottonmouth Wallace. Taking place in Arizona. So if you're wondering why I'm being silent, listen to the dialogue. Sorry I was silent. I wanted to listen to the dialogue. And I mean, they're good actors, but it's just I don't know if it's just the characters, if it's just the delivery. It's just that I've seen these actors do much better in other movies, and this they're kind of just lukewarm performances. Like, it's a good cast, but like those Chris Christopherson films I mentioned, I liked his performances in those better than this. Same with Burt Young. Even Ernest Borgnine. Now, I wonder if that's because, from what I understand, there was a script written for this. I believe the original script was much more in the vein of Smokey and the Bandit. Much more fun, funnier. But then Sam Peckinpah was rewriting the film. And then literally, from what I understand, he said, oh, just ad lib. Just ad lib and think of something to say. I think even James Colburn would say a lot of times the actors didn't know what the fuck to say because they didn't know what the fuck they were supposed to be doing. And if that's the case, then maybe that's why it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying. Because you're not getting much direction. You don't really have much of a script. So then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just say this and do this. Because this movie seems to be more about the trucks and the possible stunt work and less about the characters and the personality. Now, this lady with the red bandana on, I believe that is Madge Sinclair. Now, Madge Sinclair, I believe, was the voice of Mufasa, his Simba's mother. Yeah, Mufasa's mate. Jamaican actress, passed away December 1995. Yeah, Simba's mother in the 1994 Lion King movie. So yeah, the one with the red bandana is Simba's mom. Now this girl here, who is going to be our lead lady, that is Ali McGraw, which she was in films like Love Story, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, and she was in the 1972 film The Getaway, which was a Sam Peckinpah film. I don't know why, this is going to sound strange, but Ali McGraw, she looks more tanned in this film, or I don't know what it is. Like, her skin color is different in this movie compared to other films. So I don't know what the deal is. Like, she is not usually that look in other films. I swear she's not. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think she looks like that skin-wise in Love Story. I don't know if it's something else, or maybe my eyes just playing tricks on me. But I've heard nobody else mention it, so maybe it's my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't know. Does seem like she's more like this girl's skin color, but oh, she looks really fucking happy to be there. So this was filmed almost entirely in the state of New Mexico. It began in 1977. Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit, The Great Smoky Roadblock, Breaker Breaker, Handle of Terror, Highballin', and Steel Cowboy. You also had the TV series BJ and the Bear, which, yes, had a guy and his chimpanzee trucking around. Which that was probably inspired by Every Which Way But Loose. But yeah, Sam Peckinpah, Cross of Iron, The Killer Elite, Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, and Pat Garrett and the Billy Kid did not do well at the box office. Petrapod tried to encourage the actors to rewrite, improvise, and ad-lib the dialogue with little success. Yeah, because that's not what they're hired for. They're hired to act, which means you have a script and you direct people. Hire longtime friend James Colburn as a set unit director. He allegedly directed some scenes when Petrapod was impaired for drugs and alcohol. And the original cut was 3.5 hours long. This might be when the insane incident will happen. See, that's the thing, though, is that in scenes like this, there's just not a lot of life to them. There's not a lot of life to these sequences. Like, Smokey and the Bandit, it felt like even when there was no... Like, it felt like we're always on the road, we're always driving, then we weren't. You have Burt turning on his charisma, his back and forth with his buddy, other stuff. And here, it just... I don't know if... Damn, the guy can't even get his dick wet to relax. How you don't arrest him for vagrancy? He's eaten. Borgnine just comes off as just such a slimy creep in this. And the sad thing is, like, Ernest Borgnine is clearly a villain in this. He's clearly a villain in this. He's picking on these folks that did nothing wrong. They're not doing anything that bad. They're not doing anything that awful. Like this bit here. They didn't do anything wrong. They're sitting there eating. There was no vagrancy. But this guy never gets a comeuppance. He never gets a damn comeuppance. Which is a damn shame. Trying to do a bit of that slow-mo that Sam Peckinpah was known for. Damn, backhand the lady. Not giving a fuck. But again, just interesting to see the slow-mo bit, like I said, where Peckinpah was fairly known for that. Just watch the ending of The Wild Bunch among other films. Damn, lady just been thrown about left and right. Just no fucks given. Granted, the geography is a little bit confusing. I'm like, who's where? Like, who's where and what's being thrown to what? I'm like, there's more tables to crash? So yeah, it would have been nice to see better the geography of what's going on, where all these characters are. Damn guy, you always sound like you WWF. Damn, Chris, you can't fight for shit. Like that shot was almost a bit confusing where he punches him, then we're all of a sudden upside down, so I'm guessing that was a reflection somewhere? Or he just turned the camera upside down then. So even that fight, that felt like it was cut to pieces. It felt like that fight was cut to ribbons where this guy's thrown over here, this guy's thrown over here, this guy's punched, but then he's going over here, and it's like, well, where's he? They're over there, but they're over here. I mean, I don't really think that's what fights should be shot as. Like I said, I don't mind the slow motion bits, but it just again the geography, the sense of the environment, and again, I don't know if that was because I think what happened was Sam Peckinpah was cut out of the final editing process, I believe. And I don't think he was allowed to edit. Like this right here, from what I understand, is not Peckinpah's final cut. I could absolutely be wrong on that, but this is not Peckinpah's final cut. I forget who it was, if it was him or someone else saying they'd never seen the final version, and that if they did see the final version, then they'd be want to inflict some violence, so to speak. And I know someone said that they saw the first cut, and while it wasn't, perfect, it was better than the released version. And this definitely seemed like a movie that was tampered with. Again, that fight scene alone felt like it was tampered with. Maybe not. Maybe it was edited the way Peckinpah wanted, and that's just how it was. But again, I seem to remember even like the wild, like there was quick edits, but I still get more of a sense of where people are. And, well, this person's here, and those persons are there, so he's shooting over there, and you get the slow-mo there, and the guy... But again, this is also a Peckinpah that was high on drugs, so... Not the Petropol of yesteryear. I think that was also another thing that you cast Ernest Borgnine, so you're thinking there's going to be at least a bit more humor to it. Not saying it has to be like Buford T. Justice, you know, but that was going to be a little. But no, he takes the role very, very serious. It's a deadly serious role. And I guess you could say after this, trying to be a bit more of the turmoil of the truckers against the police, the government, however you want to put it, that want to suppress the man and suppress the blue collar and tumultuous back and forth between the higher ups and the working man. Or how the fuck do you want to put it? Or in other words, you don't see a lot of fucking scenes of trucks going down the highway like this. Like this bit of trucks going down the highway, you don't see a lot more where that came from. A lot more. Trucks just driving down. Oh, sorry about that. It's not because of the movie. I just did not get much sleep last night, so apologize for that. I know it can be annoying. But obviously, with the way the films are nowadays, they were never made films like this, especially to go into a theater. And like I said, I mean, it did make money. It's just it cost more. Like if the budget was actually, if the director wasn't high all the time and stuff, and they did the budget that they were supposed to do, this would have had a tidy profit, and the studio would have been more happy. But now I don't know if this is true, but I remember like this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember this wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe that's not the case, but the bit where the turn and the truck flips over, I could absolutely be wrong about that, but for some reason, I thought I read somewhere that this truck was not supposed to flip like this. And so, okay, well, it did it, so let's work around it and utilize it. I could absolutely be wrong about that. Does you see, like, the way it was shot? Like, the slow-mo? Like, there's slow-mo, but it seems like slow-mo that was done after the fact. Because it has that kind of weird shudder to it. I don't know how to put it. Like, when they know they're going to do something slow-mo, they'll have the camera set up in a certain way. Like you saw in the fight scene. Where people flying back in slow-mo. Like, those were meant to be in slow motion. Those bits in that fight scene. It seemed like that was not meant to be slow-mo to start with. Because that's why it has that shutter quality. That's how you know in certain movies. Like, you see John Woo, that's meant to be slow-mo. It's much smoother way of movement. But then if someone after the fact is like a little bit more herky-jerky. And also, you didn't see like a lot of up-close shots of like the end. Like, if you don't do that big of a stunt, like this here, you have the up close going through the sign, and then you have the wide shot. And yeah, I guess they used the slow mo on that, and I didn't whether they wanted to, but so I guess yeah, I don't know if at the time they're like, well, we didn't want to use slow mo at this scene, or we after the fact decided to use a slow mo or something else. But you saw that there were more up close shots. There was going through the billboard and other stuff. They're more prepared for that stunt. It felt like in the other one, they didn't really have a lot of other shots to showcase that truck. It just seemed like something that happened accidentally. It's like, oh shit, well, I guess we'll just utilize this and keep going. Plus, it didn't really do anything to affect the plot or the story or anything. It's just, oh, yeah, it flipped over, and now we got get into this other truck, and there you go. I know Chris Christopherson at the time, he was very much centered on his band, and so I don't think he wanted to do much swearing, much cursing, as he thought the audience that sees his band would not really. He didn't think it was appropriate for that audience if he put a lot of that into this movie. I think there was something I read that there was at least a month that he could not be there because he had to tour with his band. Like, that was a necessity for his livelihood. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm guessing they shot around and just shot the scenes without him, and that way they get back and they shoot these like up close shots. Him, the truck, these conversations, things of that nature. Like I said, most of the movies are going to be these type of scenes, them driving and going down that lone, lonesome highway. So they're putting this big dust cloud to hide themselves. I'm sorry I don't really have much details to say because I know this came on Blu-ray, but I don't remember who released it. Because for a while it was on this like cheap jack DVD where I don't think the video quality wasn't that great, and there might have been even other scenes missing. But then they did release it on Blu-ray. I'm not sure, was it Kino Lorber or... I'll check real quick while this is happening. Yep, it's Tino Lorber. Blu-ray of the film. God damn it, did we? Audio commentary with film historians, and that's all there is on it? Wow, I thought there'd be at least a little bit more. I don't know why. I thought I heard there was a documentary on it, but I guess not. It was also from Viavision. Limited edition 4K and Blu-ray. Okay, that one has... This one looks like it has more features. We have the 115-minute extended cut on a bonus Blu-ray disc in our release. Back in 1978, Convoy was the very first Petropavl film I ever saw, hence I have a soft spot in my heart for it. It was very troubled production, which gave me the opportunity to create hours of supplements to preserve its chaotic, interesting, and even entertaining backstory for future generations. With the new 4K restoration, the extra footage, and new supplements, this will be the ultimate home video release for Convoy for all time. So I guess if you're a fan, Julio, you definitely gotta get this Viavision limited edition one, which it's still in print, it looks like. It says sale. Oh shit, never mind. $109 Australian. Just not sure you want to pay that much. But there's a video essay by filmmaker Petropavl scholar Mike Seidel. Interview with Franklin AJ. Okay. A 70-minute documentary with Chris Christopherson, Ally McGraw, Ernest Borgnine, producer Michael Dealey. Wow, a 70-minute documentary? New 2024 revision and upscale. But maybe this is like a documentary from... So maybe this documentary was from somewhere else. Because it says what's new is the upscale, not the documentary. And of course, this is when Ernest Borgnine and them were alive, so... I don't know when... Was this on other releases? Maybe. I never saw that documentary. I was there. I wasn't able to find it because I didn't know it existed. And Norwegian trucker expert on the famous rubber duck back RS-700 truck. Feature on Dan Bruno's original Convoy truck and trailer. Hundred rare behind-the-scenes photos. Or there's apparently 300 rare behind-the-scenes photos. 2K stand of the 35mm trailer, TV spot, and other stuff. Commentary by filmmaker Petropavl scholar Mike Seidel. So there you go. And then the extended cut 115-minute version. So, kind of curious now. I just want to look real quick while this movie's playing. Dude, what is the name of that documentary again? Because I'm not seeing anything on YouTube. Let me look again. As they trash the shit out of Ernest Borgnine's car. Passion and Poetry, Sam's Trucker movie. There's a trailer for the documentary. Oh, yeah, that's just Sam Peckinpah himself. So there's a series of Passion and Poetries. One was about his last Western. One was about the Wild Bunch and others. So that was apparently a series of stuff called Passion and Poetry. Let's see, is this available anywhere to watch? Sorry, just curious about it. Or it didn't. I don't know if this was on other releases. Because if I looked at Tino Lorber's, it said there was only one. Double check. Okay, it says it's here on the Tino Lorber one. For some reason, the other site didn't show this, but it says here, Passion, Poetry, Sam's Trucker movie, or the disc Big Gets, offering a collective portrait of Convoy as a calamity that somehow became a hit in spite of itself. Okay. So yeah, if you do have the Tino Lorber of Convoy, it is on there. So I'm sure Julio, you probably already have the Tino Lorber Blu-ray. And it is on there, so there you go. Get more and more people. But see what I mean? Like, you don't see a lot more of just, people driving across the USA, like the song says. And see, that's what I mean. As we're going, like, you don't see a whole lot of Burt Young. You don't see a lot of Franklin AJ. You don't really see a lot of the other characters doing much. Now, maybe we see it later on, and I could be misremembering, but because they're on the move, there's really no time to stop. I'm assuming there's moments. I'm trying to remember if there are moments that they stop, but And that's the thing, I just don't think the conversations were that interesting. I don't know, man. I'm going to go put the light on since it's getting pretty dark in here. So 1 second, the movie's still playing. Okay. Of course, stop and get gas as well, or they already did. Now a little bit more of this Convoy song. That was a pretty big song back in the day. And it's a catchy song. Like if you hear the full song, like again, if you watch the, that's what I'm saying. If you watch the trailer to this film, you get the whole movie. Because the trailer literally shows you the inciting incident, the highlights of the film, the stunt work, even the end of the film with Ernest Borgnine laughing, and I think they even show the big stunt at the end. And then you get to hear the full song uninterrupted. We have to travel across the USA. So that's when, for me, it's like you just watch that trailer and you get the full movie, and you're not, for me, missing much. They even have a bear in the air. I remember that was in the trailer. That was part of the song. And again, you got people like Burt Young that after that initial beginning, they just don't really have anything to do. Now, maybe in the 3.5 hour cut, there's a lot more, but I don't know. See, nowadays they would just put those. I don't remember if they still tried in this movie, but they would just lay those spikes on the ground and you run them over and blows out the tires, and then you can't fucking drive. So you blow out the tires, then you got the guns on them, and either you get out or we're going to shoot. Especially since they know where they're going and that long highway, and you put the strips out, blow out the tires, and then sound off. You get out, we're going to shoot you. Well, obviously that's not going to stop it because we still got 48 minutes left of the movie. And that's what I mean. Like, I mean, I do apologize to Julio. This commentary is boring. And sorry if my jaw is going so weird. These damn sinuses, just this damn weather. The Texas goes like damn seesaw, so it's affecting it. So I apologize. But as I was talking about, when I first saw this and just being disappointed, like, it's not that I hated the film. I don't think this is a god awful film or anything. It's just when you expect Sam Peckinpah, the guy who did The Wild Bunch and other stuff. You got, Chris Christopherson, you got Burt Young, you got Ernest Borgnine, you got, and is it in the same vein as Smoking the Bandit? Was such a fun movie. And then you watch this and it's just, definitely try to go for a little bit of that Peckinpah flavor with the slow-mo and a close shots to the people, and will it detonate, will it not detonate, will the chemical, screw everything up and stuff. Because the whole idea is the trust here in chemicals and could blow everything sky high. Of course, the other thing, now that I think about it, they have that many cop cars, right? Why don't you just shoot out the tires? Like, the tires on the semi trucks are much bigger, so you could drive on the side and just shoot at least a tire or two out and take the trucks out one by one. Because, I mean, they don't have hostages. You're just shooting out the tires and stop the trucks one by one. And you arrest them. You arrest 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and hey, if you stop now, they'll get off easy. If you don't stop, then they're going to get a much bigger, harsher sentence. There's many ways to get out of this. Like, see how big those tires are? You just pew, 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 just shoot the tires out. I mean, even if you shoot them all out on one side. Because the idea is that the public are letting these people fight the man, and they have their brotherhood, their brethren, and fuck these pigs, fuck these cops, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But I say, it's just people just driving and driving and driving. I mean, I guess makes sense it's a convoy, but there was a lot of driving, Smoking the Bandit, but again, the back and forth between Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed, and Buford T. Justice and his nephew, and it's just like the performances, the characters just had this big personality that really struck a chord, and you have none of that in this. Chris Christopherson, I mean, he's being Chris. They don't really have much for his character. I said other people like Burt Young get almost completely forgotten. I mean, what was the last big scene Burt Young had since the beginning of the movie? The fight scene. And what was the last big scene Burt Young had? Or even Franklin AJ or anybody, any of those characters. Like they show them doing this or doing this, driving, but that's what I mean. It just. Guess I just expected more. Maybe some would say I expected too much, but I just expected a bit more out of this type of film. But again, the trouble production, the ad lib, thinking stuff off the fly, a director who was out of it and would not show up, and wasn't like one point like there was like the director was gone for like 12 hours. And it's like, well, I mean, guess James Coburn will shoot something or we'll shoot nothing. I don't know. And you tell it's a little bit of a mess. At least for me. So yeah, I've seen this only one time. And unless it's a request, this will probably be the last time I see it because while I don't hate the film, I would never watch the film again because it kind of gets boring after a bit. It gets a bit boring after a while to just see them driving and driving and driving and driving. And even like the big scenes, it's like, okay, he hit a little bit of a cop car because the whole point is that if it's a big collision, there'll be a big explosion. The stunt where the car going through the billboard and through the roof of a building was cool. But yeah, we're over an hour in. Like, we're over an hour in. We got 40 minutes left of the film, and you're pretty much going to be seeing a lot more of this. That's pretty much it. A lot more of this, a lot more where that came from, this. So it's like, okay. Only now is nighttime. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I'm like, is there any way that the police could know what's going on with the CB and then get the message of, oh, wait a minute, this guy's not with the group anymore. So they could grab this guy and make a bargain with, you better stop or we're going to do something to this guy. He get hard times. Now you all stop and we'll give leeway to him. And the idea is we'll give leeway to him, but we'll bust everybody else. So I don't remember if there anything that does happen to that guy, but It even says here, I mean, the plot. Going to arrest that guy for vagrancy. Smooth things over. Christopherson does. The sword truckers prevail. Decide to head for the state line to avoid prostitution while messing with the police cars while the cops are knocked out. Drive across Arizona and New Mexico while in pursuit. Rubber Duck becomes a reluctant hero. The governor of New Mexico, Jerry, meets Rubber Duck at his request after being told that the governor has ideas of using the National Guard on the convoy. Okay, Spider-Mite dip gets arrested. Yep, there he goes. And he got beat up. Use him as bait to trap Rubber Duck. A janitor at the jail aware of the plan sends messages by CB radio that he's been wrongfully arrested and beaten. Various truckers relay the message to Mexico. That guy sounds familiar. I'm trying to see if that's who I think it is. That janitor that just talked and says, I'll get you some help. Is that who I think it is? I gotta look at the cast. Guess not, because I'm not seeing his name. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now that I see him now. When I heard the voice, I thought it was it William Sanderson, which he was in Blade Runner and he was on Newhart, but no, not him. So never mind. And sorry, I've been silent for like the past 5 minutes. I mean, does you know that's how commentaries work? Yeah, be silent. Just silently watch the film. Don't say shit. Well, you know it's a governor, so you know he's full of shit. The hell that guy stand next to Burr Young. Guy like the fucking leather jacket. Was he going to the bar and police academy? Do 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 do. Of course, this is the CB radio getting the message, shows the camaraderie between the truckers, and they're all part of one big family. If anyone sees this who's a trucker, you can let me know. Do you guys still use... Is CB radio something that's still used? I just wonder, like, the new generation of people growing up to become truckers, if they actually do utilize the CB radio, or they just utilize other means, and that's known as the old ways. So I'm just curious. If anyone out there is a trucker, you'll let me know. I didn't. And what's this other guy with the striped shirt, the red and white strip, like stole Where's Waldo's clothing? Yeah, like the guy with the biker vest, and then the other guy with the red and white stripes. Going to be part of the barbershop quartet, I guess. Sorry, I'm listening to the dial. You wonder what I'm doing. It's nice that they're having this, what seems like would be like a small type of conversation, in this massive, hundreds of people eavesdropping and hearing everything that they're saying. See, I don't even remember how this ends. Like, I know you think Chris is dead, but he's not dead. But I can't remember. Do people get arrested? Are they just let go? Because, it'd be a... Beady a Nightmare? I don't even remember. I mean, it would just seem like it was, if Ernest Borgnine wasn't such a dick. And that's what made me mad. Like, Borgnine, he doesn't get any comeuppance. He doesn't get any. There's no just. Like, this is the guy that caused it all. And I think about when was the last time we saw Ernest Borgnine? Now that I think about it, when was the last time we saw Ernest Borgnine in the film? Maybe he's coming up soon. But it felt like it's been a while, and even then it's been like very short or brief. But again, it was that part of the all the footage that was cut out where some of these tears were in it a lot more, evenly paced, or what the deal is. I guess here you got a little bit more of Burt Young, a little bit more of him. But yeah, I think for me it's just the story. The story, like the characters, the story is just not much to run home about for me with this film. And I don't know, man. It just like this. We're an hour and 19 minutes left. We got 23 minutes left of the film, and obviously those 23 minutes don't be getting that guy out of jail, trying to get to. I think they're trying to get to the border, and then the National Guard, and oh, you think he's dead, but he's not. But it's just like, okay, Ernest Borgnine's the villain, but then okay, now he popped up. As soon as I said, now he popped up. And yeah, we saw him with Franklin AJ, so I'm all fucked up. Just don't listen to a fucking word I say. I don't know shit. I don't know jack shit. So fuck am I talking about? Shut this fucking commentary down, because I don't know shit. So I guess maybe the idea that those people, Burt Young and them, they were working with the. Well, I guess they're here now, so that's why they're going to tear over this town a new asshole, and they'll be in deep shit then and there. I think you just feel like there's a lot of stuff missing, which there is a lot of stuff, and yet I say that, but yet if I'm watching, the hour and 40-minute version, and I think it's boring, how bored would I be with the 3.5 hour version of this? So I don't know, man. Like I said, this is just one of those weird films that, I mean, as you can tell, I'm not even getting a cohesive thought about this movie out of my fucking face hole. I think at the end of the day, when I watch this film, I would just rather watch Smokey and the Bandit. Or again, I even liked Breaker with Chuck Norris more than this. I just think, it was like with Smokey and the Bandit, it was paced better. The characters were more fun to be around and more entertaining. The pacing felt a bit quicker, and here is just eh. Yeah, here you don't get some of that destruction. Which, I mean, this stuff is cool. Just go in there and run through some shit. Have these buildings set up and run the fuck through them. Smash them up. Just destroy some shit. And all done practical. All done in camera. No CGI, no CGI enhancements, no CGI additions. It cannot get more real than real. So yeah, just go in and run into that motherfucker and tear it down. So you don't destroy a town, you set up these outside exteriors. I'm assuming make it flimsy enough so that when the truck goes through, it doesn't get smashed or stutter around and stuff. Make easy for it to crash through. I mean, Breaker, at least he had Chuck Norris beating the shit out of someone at the end of the film. Oh. Bribe taking piece of meanness. Well, your law sucks. That's what I mean. Like, Ernest Borgnine is such a villainous character to me, in my opinion, that the fact he never gets, to me, he never gets a satisfying like, I don't consider this a comeuppance. He's bruised up a bit, but he hasn't learned anything. He just get the shit kicked out of him among other stuff, and he just don't come up as at the end. It just, to me, yeah, I don't consider this. It just so unsatisfying at the end. He should be humiliated, lose his job, something, But no, that wasn't the case. And other than that guy having a baby he wants to get home to, like the others don't really have much of characters. Again, I'm going to say this. Why does she look more black in this movie? I swear I've seen her in other movies and she's like more white. But in this movie, she looks more black. Or brown. I'll put brown. Like Fred and AJ and the other, they're black. But she looks more brown. Like, did she get like a huge tan? Or did you try to make her brown? Like, not quite blackface? Like, or what is it? I don't know what it is. That's not how she usually looks, I swear. Look up the Love Story. That's not how she looks in that film. I swear it isn't. Because, okay, let me see if I did show this. Okay, let me see. Let me try the speech thing. Ally McGraw Love Story. Okay, thanks for not doing that. So I'm going to look up so that's how she looks like in Love Story. Right? Same with this. Now, if I look up Convoy, she looks a lot darker in Convoy. Or even this shot here. She looks a lot darker. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. Maybe that's what it is. So sorry if it's my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't know. What's the big deal? It's no big deal. I'm just observation. That's all. Just an observation. Again, I just remembered, as I'm watching now, just being bored out of the movie. Just being bored. Again, if you watch the trailer, you've seen the movie. And I don't think you really get much more out of watching the full movie that you didn't get out of the trailer. Whether it be a deeper context or a deeper, oh, that was a funny line of dialogue, or that was a memorable piece of dialogue, or man, that was a great speech, or that was a wonderful dramatic moment that guy had, or that actor had that really good dramatic moment there, or I just don't see it at all. Just throw all her fucking shit. Throw. What's that? You know, fucking take their pants off and then throw them out the fucking truck too. Just throw every fucking thing out. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a moment where Sam Peckinpah wanted, as he's driving, Chris Christopherson to just shot, you know, in slow motion. Just like, you know, Alfredo Garcia, just like, what was it, Bonnie and Clyde, the Wild Bunch. But maybe someone's like, no, no, this is a different movie. You can't do that. Different film. No. Not in this one. Not in this one. So the idea is that the part he was in drove into the water, which should just mean that he could swim away while that part blew up. Because I don't know where the hell else he would have gone. Waiting for someone to shoot Ernst Borgnest in the fucking head. Now, the governor says for some cause. What cause is that? The guy who caused it all, Ernest Borgnine, is right fucking there, still has his job, gets no punishment, was there with the fucking machine gun ready and shooting and killing, or he thinks, killing. So what cause? Take it to Washington. Even that bit with Ernest Borgnine laughing, that was in the trailer. See, I don't even buy his character laughing about it because he's real. He he might not have beaten up the Franklin his character, but he didn't do anything to stop it. He didn't do anything to change it. He even said if I had a gun, I would shoot Chris in the face. He was shooting the gun as crazy to be into the truck as it blown up. So no, I don't buy him laughing with when all this stuff happens. I don't buy it. And again, all this cause of the truckers, what? Yeah, for what? Like the guy who started all, which was Ernest Borg. You're the reason this all started, dude. Does you want to pull up a bullshit charge of vagrancy? It would be like in First Blood, right? Brian Dennehy pretty much did the same fucking thing. Brian Dennehy did the same thing in First Blood. Now imagine at the end of the end of First Blood, Brian Dennehy sees John Rambo, like he escapes, and then he's laughing, and ha 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 ha. You'd be like, what the fuck? Granted, yes, it's a bit different because it did result in someone's death, which was self-defense. And still, Brian Dennehy's fault for causing this shit in the first place. But let's say no one had died. It's like, no. It's funny how it works better as part of this music video. Because it's going at a quicker pace. It's showing everything that's going on. There's really not much context in the gist of things. And that's really my problem with the film, is that for a film that is an hour and 40 some minutes, there's really not a whole lot of deep context. And the stuff that's there is paper thin, like the bits between Chris Christopherson and Ernest Borgnine, or the stuff between Chris and Ally McGraw, and it's just paper thin, in my opinion. And again, Ernest Borgnine, to repeat myself, he should have got a comeuppance. And his character reminds me of Brian Dennehy from First Blood. A cop who thinks he's doing the right thing, but doing all awful things. Literally trying to arrest someone for vagrancy, which he tried to do when Brian Dennehy did the Rambo in First Blood, when he did nothing wrong. Then getting beaten up in prison and didn't do anything about it. Just like fucking... Even though he didn't do it, he didn't do anything about it. But at least Brian Denny he didn't get killed, but he got shot to shit. Like he deserved. Nothing's over, you don't just turn it off. For me, this film worked better as a trailer. It was the 3-minute trailer with the song. And if I want to revisit the film, I just revisit that trailer. Because I think the trailer is much better than the movie. Again, I watched Smoking the Bandit, I watched Breakthrough Breakthrough, because at least Chuck Norris, he doesn't do a whole lot of fighting, but he does a little bit, and that I prefer more. Sam Peckinpah, you just see dabbles of his style throughout the film. But yeah, and at the end of the day, this is one of those films that, man, it didn't, like I said, I don't hate the film, but it doesn't work all that great, to me at least, for me personally. I just think, there's a lot of other better movies and other stuff that's more worthwhile. At least to me. Just me, my opinion. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Sorry to Julio if this commentary sucked. Honestly, I do apologize. Because he might be the biggest fan of this movie and be like, fuck this guy. He's like, well, he has every right to, because he sent in the paid request, and if this sucked, he has a right to tell me to go fuck myself. He's earned that right. He paid. He earns that right to say that. But is it that documentary? I don't have the Blu-ray of Convoy, so I haven't seen that documentary. I don't know the details of the making of the film to share, other than what's on the trivia on IMDb or Wikipedia. And like I said, there's a lot of driving around, and and like I said, the relationship between the characters, I would call it one-dimensional, for at least the way I see it. The ending is a bit wonky to me, for reasons I said. Like, again, I don't buy Ernest Borgnine laughing it up, and the guys don't fight for the cause of the truckers. I'm like, yeah, the cause was Ernest Borgnine. He's the cause of it. He's the reason this all happened, and he's free to do whatever he wants, it looks like. Unless I missed something. Maybe I missed something. If so, I apologize. I fucked up, but I don't know. Anyway, with this said, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.